Hi guys, it's April and today I just thought, thinking about the 2023 garden, I wanted to show you some of the seeds that I have been bringing in this year that I'm going to try for maybe the first time next season. I've been buying up some seeds for next year from a couple different places, from Baker Creek, from Johnny Seeds, from Floret, Botanical Interest, Eden Brothers. I'm sure there's a few in there that I've probably forgotten about that you will end up seeing. I have them all mushed up together. I've got my food section and I've got my flower section, and I'm just gonna step you through the seeds that I got for next year that are new to me that I'm excited to try this next season. Like I said, I've got these divided up into two different sections. I've got my flower section, I've got my food section. I think I'm going to start with the food and then go to the flowers, mainly because while I really like my flowers, I'm more excited about what I'm going to be trying for food. I'm going to attempt to do this by type, but we'll see how this ends up playing out. So for my beans, I've only got one new one this year, and that is the Black Knight runner beans. I just really like beans that come in this purple color because then I know for sure when it's actually time to harvest them. Plus, I just really enjoy the colors pink and purple. So this one caught my eye. We'll see how it actually tastes, but I'm excited to try this one. Next, we have my onion varieties. I like to reacquire my onions every year, mainly because onion seeds tend to deteriorate rather rapidly. So this time around I have Feast bunching onions, which I think is a new variety by Johnny this year. I have my deep purple bunching onions, which I did do this past year, and I do quite enjoy it because you get those quick onions that you can use in all of your Asian dishes, but it's got those purple notes to it. I really like this variety. The Cabernet red onion, once again, this is a onion I did last year. I like to have a mix of red and white onions just to mix things up a little bit. I am in zone 5B, so I go for those middle range onions. And then I have the Walla Walla sweet onion and also the candy onion. These are probably pretty much the same onion, but I like to grow both of them simply because it is just that much different and I like to experiment. And then last but not least, the Ishikara onions. This is a larger bunching onion. I did do this one once again. All my onions I've pretty much done before, except for that Feast bunching onion. But like I said, I rebuy my onion seeds each year, and I prefer to do it from seed simply because success or failure is all due down to me and not whether or not things ship correctly, if that makes sense. And so far, I've had pretty good success with onions, especially the bunching onions. Next, I've got some new radishes. I don't even know if I want to attempt to say either of these names because I'm just gonna butcher that in a way that's just not gonna be fun for anybody. But I like the pink variety of radishes. I just really like pink. So I saw these and I figured I'd give them a try. I do have a couple of new bok choy I want to try this year. This first one, the Hidu Tiny, is obviously one of the free ones I got with my Baker Creek order. And then the Choco is one I bought this year because they claim it is heat tolerant. And that's usually the problem I have when I'm growing my bok choy in the spring. Our spring ends up not being nearly as long as I would like it to be. So we start heating up before I get a full head of bok choy, and then it starts bolting on me. So I thought I'd give this one a try to see if I can manage to actually get a head of bok choy this year. We obviously have our free lettuce from Baker Creek. I don't even buy lettuce seeds anymore because I tend to get a whole bunch of free packets because of seeds I order at some point. I might have to order seeds again, but I got such a backlog of lettuce that I don't think that's going to be necessary for a while. And I got some of my herbs. I have a hybrid cilantro. This is a cruiser monogerm. I think this is supposed to be a little bit more heat tolerant if I remember correctly. I've also got a lemon balm. I've never done lemon balm before, but I was intrigued by the mandarina. I think that's how you say that. And then I tried to grow this last year and was not successful, but I got some corn jello thyme that I want to try. I'm putting these together, whether or not they're supposed to be together, but I am trying some pink plume celery and some pink beauty amaranth, mainly for the pink stalks, because everyone wants to eat their veggies just that much more when they're fun colors. I'm just saying. I did pick up some mini pink corn. I did grow mini blue popcorn and a strawberry popcorn this past year. Still on the fence on how much corn I actually want to try again, because corn is a crop that cleanup afterwards is not the funnest. I use the corn stalks for decoration, but we also have a lot of wind here, so it tends to like take off on itself. And then just getting the kernels off a cob is never really that fun. So I do have this. I might not plant as much corn as I did last year, but we'll see. I have a couple of spicy peppers that I would like to do this year. I loved the ahi peppers that I grew this past year, and so when I saw this ahi mango, I'm like, yes please. And I like jalapenos, so I thought I'd try this pumpkin spice because I did do a yellow jalapeno last year, and then my regular jalapenos that of course turn red if you leave them there long enough. So this is something new to try. I have a couple of sweet peppers as well. I've got this candy cane chocolate cherry pepper. I did grow a variety that was very similar to this past year. It was just a candy cane pepper. I'm guessing they might, because it's from a different company, it might actually be the same pepper, just a slightly different name. If so, I've got more seeds. It's fine. I am also doing this hybrid bell pepper, Sweet Sunrise. I struggle with bell peppers, getting them to a good, decent size. So I thought I'd try this hybrid. Maybe that'll help me out in achieving what I wish to achieve. Who knows? We'll find out. I do have this striped Roma tomato from M.I. Gardner. That is the one company I forgot to mention in my list of seeds procurement. So there you go. I also get seeds from M.I. Gardner. This is the striped Roma. I do like Roma tomatoes, but I also like trying fancy Roma tomatoes. I also love striped tomatoes. So here we are. And then we've got my slicer tomatoes. The first one of that being the Cherokee Carbon from Botanical Interest. I picked up a pink Jazz from Baker Creek. The Purple Rain, which I saw people talking about last year. I think this was out for the first time then. And I'm like, I'm intrigued. I haven't seen people's official thoughts on this tomato. I've seen them pick it up for growing in 2022, so I should probably go back and see how that worked out for a lot of people, but I thought I'd give it a try anyways. I've got the Berkeley tie-dye pink because, like I said, I'm really into striped tomatoes right now. They intrigue me. Vintage wine tomato for much the same reason. I picked up a lot of tomatoes. I don't even know if I can say this one. We're a Kawa tomato. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. And then, of course, the Berkeley tie-dye green. I may have picked up the whole Berkeley range because I wanted to give it a go. You've got the gold medal, the pork chop. You noticing the theme of stripes this year? I think 2023 is going to be the year of striped tomatoes. Solar flare, and then I've got this free one, the Thorburns terracotta, which I was actually thinking about picking up, so I'm glad I got this free version to try. If I like it, of course I will continue on. Where I'm going to plant all of these tomatoes, I always overbuy tomato seeds, and then I'm like, I don't know where to plant all these. So these are what I consider my snacker tomatoes. So they're the smaller tomatoes or the cherry tomatoes. I've got this gumdrop black hybrid from Park Seeds, another company I did not mention. I get a few here and there from Park Seeds. I've got the Midnight Snack. This is the chocolate sprinkles, once again striped. It reminds me a lot of the bumblebee varieties of tomatoes, so it might be just identical to that. And this is the Wasticon peach tomato, and another seed company that I didn't mention. This is from Seed Savers Exchange. They are the people I get my Nebraska wedding tomatoes from as well. And it seems I forgot these ones. They were still in the box. I have more snacker tomatoes. This is the Tigerella. I've got the indigo blue chocolate. Purple and striped tomatoes are my two kind of favorite varieties. I also really like white tomatoes. There's not a lot of tomatoes that I don't like. Green tomatoes I don't enjoy growing because I have some trouble telling when they're ripe. And of course the purple bumblebee. I did purchase this last year, but when I opened the seed packet, it was actually empty. So I ended up buying a start from one of my local greenhouses that just so happened to be growing this variety. So that's how I had it last year. And this is the blue bumblebee, which looked interesting. I go in and out of whether or not I want to grow as many cherry tomatoes as I do sometime, because at the start of the season, I'm really enjoying them because I haven't got my slicer tomatoes in. But then middle of the season, I really start getting overwhelmed because I've got so many slicers I have to work through. The cherry tomatoes start getting ignored. But this past season, I have started fermenting my tomatoes, and they are the perfect topping for focaccia, and now I'm in love with that kind of usage of cherry tomatoes. And then the last two kind of foodish seeds that I have is I've got an Aunt Molly ground cherry, and I've got this strawberry spinach. I'm not a huge ground cherry fan, but my husband really likes them, so I'll continue to grow them for him. And I was just intrigued by this spinach, so I thought I'd give it a go. So I'm going to put those away so I have room on my table. And we'll move to the flowers. I will start this off by saying I have saved some of my own sunflower seeds from the sunflowers Thank you, Kat. Thank you. From the sunflowers I grew this year. But my whole idea is to, at some point, all along that back fence line, is just to have a field of sunflowers, and then maybe eventually along my north fence line as well. I just actually have to make that flower bed. So I've bought a lot of sunflower seeds to do so. This is a giant teddy bear sunflower. This is the Pro Cut White Light. I've got the Ruby Eclipse, the Sun Gold Tall sunflower. I really like the teddy bear varieties, and then some of those oddball color varieties. Those tend to be what I lean a little bit more towards. This is a free pack of sunflowers that I'm like, okay, I can use that. You can never have enough sunflower seeds. This is the Golden Bear from Eden Brothers, and this is the Goldie. We've got the double double sunking, the double sunking. That's just a weird word. Did pick up another packet of the chocolate cherry. I grew this last year. They didn't come up quite as prolific as I was hoping, so I figured I'd add more. This is the gold coin. Once again, teddy bear. And then the tall orange sun. I then have a patch of zinnias that I like to do around my water feature in the back corner of my garden. This I like to do with pinks and white zinnias. So I'm picking up more. I usually leave those over winter to drop seeds so that they kind of replant themselves, but I like to supplement as well. So I got the Dreamland Pink Hybrid. This is a shorter one that's about half the size as most normal zinnias that I like to do in the front so that they don't overwhelm the water feature. I've got the double Sahara Salmon zinnia, the Cinderella Purple, the Cinderella Peach, and then I've got the Oklahoma Carmine, the Lilliput Salmon, Queen Lime Orange, Queen Red Lime, Cinderella Peach. You'll see a lot of duplicates that I've gotten from different companies just because sometimes the stock from one company doesn't do as well as whatever strain you get from another, so I like to mix and match. Mazurka zinnia. I don't think I said that right. Senora. The Benary Giant Wine. Cupcake Pink Mix. Apparently got 2 of those because I was really excited. And then of course, once again, the Queen Lime Red and the Mazurka. I don't think I said that right. I'm hoping at some point to actually be successful with straw flowers. I tried this past year and nothing really happened, but I got some more so I can try again. I just like the concept of straw flowers, so here's to year 2. I think if I'm not successful this year, I might hold off on the straw flowers and just stick with zinnias and sunflowers for a while. But this is the Vintage White. Obviously another Vintage White. Silvery Rose. This is the Raspberry Rose. Bright Rose. And a second Bright Rose. I then have 1 pack of calendula. This is the Bronze Beauty. A lot of my calendula tends to come back, and I do have several varieties of calendula seeds in my stock, but I saw this Bronze Beauty and it was just lovely, so we'll see where this ends up. Same with the nasturtiums. I do have several varieties of nasturtium, but this just appealed to me on some level, so I had to pick it up. Also in my back garden, I have the opposite corner that I like to do more like wildlife-esque, so prairie. But I also like to throw these quinoa and this buckwheat in there too because it gives it this really pretty red color. So I've got this cherry vanilla quinoa, the brightest brilliant, and then I've got this ruby buckwheat. Maybe someday I'll have enough growing back there that I can actually like harvest some of the quinoa or the buckwheat from, but for now I'm just growing it because of what it looks like. I did pick up some chamomile and some borage to put back in that field as well, mostly for pollinator attraction. I have found out that I can't drink chamomile tea because it activates my allergies and it isn't a fun experience. I'd originally, when I picked some of this up, I'm like, oh, I can make my own tea. And then I tried some chamomile tea for a couple days and it didn't go well. And then I just think forage is just, it's pretty. And then last but not least, I have this black-eyed Susan vine and this butterfly pea. I just was looking for some vining varieties because I do have a lot of chain link fences that I'm just not really that excited about. So I was thinking maybe I can get some of these to climb some of those. I don't know if it will happen. And then just the color changeability of this butterfly pea flower when you put it in water and depending on the acid or base of the other stuff that you add in with it, I thought was kind of cool and be fun to play with. So those are the seed varieties that I'm going to be experimenting with next year. They're not all of the seeds or plants I'm going to be growing. Of course, I've got some of my older seeds, some of my favorites that I'm going to bring back. So if you want to know what those are, I recommend that you subscribe down below so you can see that growing experience or what else I'm going to be growing in the garden. I would also love to know what you guys are really super excited about in this coming year, what you have purchased, all of that kind of good stuff. So let me know down below. I do have an Instagram account where you can follow me. I will have updates maybe a little bit more regularly than I do here on YouTube, though I am trying to get better at YouTube. But with that, that is all I have for you. I hope to see you again next video, and I heart your beautiful faces.